Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing part 3 of the cast iron MattMakes mold. Ingot mold for copper, aluminum, brass, zinc, tin. If it melts at a lesser temperature than iron, you got it. So today we are going to be doing the casting for the recast. So in episode 1 of this series, this quick little series, we casted the original version, Mark 1 I guess you could call it, and it worked. It was alright. But then in episode 2 I went and remodeled it and showed you guys how I did that. I printed it and everything, and in this episode we are going to be casting that in a 2-part mold instead of a 1-part mold and pouring the iron in there, and let's hope that works out. So yes, let's go break up some iron for that.
As much as this pains me, it has to be done so it can fit in the crucible with the other iron. Miss. Look at that. Thick walls. My. You see the bubble here, a couple few small bubbles. The grain structure is very nice actually. It's casted well. Got a piece over here. Pull out that way.
Alright. So this is where I'm scared. I have to take apart the mold now. And I don't know if I can do it. This whole thing's gonna catch fire. This is probably the only time I can use this. And I'm half expecting now. I was halfway through packing the sand when I realized that most likely all of it is going to flow out the edges because of the way I built this. I did this completely wrong. But let's see if we can get this apart and just hope for the best. That's all we can really do, right? Hope. All right. Oh gosh, that doesn't look good. Oh, whoops. Well, that failed. I mean, it's like half good, but mostly horrible. That side worked out. Crap. This is not gonna work out today. Yeah, there's no way on earth I'm finishing this today. God damn it. Oh, hey. For a first try. Maybe this side can be recovered or something, and we can just retry the second side or something. I don't think so. Damn it. Where's my bucket? Oh, fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Alright. Let's take you and get you into the bucket. Oh my goodness, that sand is tightly packed. Ow. Yeah, let's go cut my hand. That's what I wanted. I knew I should have tried doing it yesterday, but alright. We'll see you after, hopefully, next time this is done.
A few moments later.
One side clean. Side number 2. Moment of truth. You know what? I'm gonna put this down for just a second. I need 2 hands for this. My hands are shaky.
One eternity later.
It looks like crap, but it's better than nothing. Now let's tilt this on its back and go fire up that furnace. Now let's make sure our paper is lit. Want it nice and burny. Come on. Just a little bit more. I don't know how you guys can see that. All right, that's good. Now let's crank that soldier boy. Oh, come on. And there we go. Let's go all the way up. Almost ready to pour. So once the whole surface goes to that foamy looking stuff in the corner right there, I'll pull it out, drop it on this brick here, pull out the slag, and pour it. Moment of truth, or more likely the moment of lie. No way to know until we crack this baby open. She's steamy. Ooh, hot. Crazy, who would have thought? Well, that's not promising. Where is it? Ah. We were so close. Come on, get out of there. There's one part. Here's the other part. So close yet so far. Give me one second. I didn't expect it to work on the first try. I was just really hopeful. For a first attempt though, that's not bad at all. The detail it held is very nice. I'm just disappointed that it didn't turn out a little better. If I do retry this, I doubt I will. My crucible is just about gone when it comes to melting stuff, and that one at least. That's the one I want to use for iron. Just because when doing iron, it just takes so much slag in there, and it's so hard to get out. So I don't think I have enough iron to try this again. This is mostly going to go back to waste, and I don't think there's going to be enough space in the crucible. That's a bummer. Look at that. That's pretty nice looking though. So maybe a project for the future. Which means this video is going to come out a week sooner than it would have if this did. That's, you gotta look on the bright side. If this didn't work, or if this did work, this video would be coming out a week later because of all the post processing, like welding the handle to it and whatnot. But oh well. I mean, it's pretty cool for what we've got. I don't know why it stopped flowing. Maybe it just solidified in here too fast. I can't imagine. I mean, I still got this extra chunk here. Yeah, it's still a little hot to hold in my bare hands. Alright. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Turned out amazing for first try. That's the most annoying part. That I had a pretty successful mold, and then I melted it down to get this again. Alright, and you are now back. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end here. So you saw what we had. Now we've got this. Very excellent grain structure, as you can see here. Very fine, as iron turns to be. Nice and dense. There's a bubble here or there, but that's expected. And it's a bigger one there. Not really a big issue. And here's the somewhat of an ingot from the iron left over from when that didn't pour all the way through. We got this much extra, and that would have been able to fill up the rest. Very interesting. This part says matte, and as you could see, it casted the detail very well. However, on the side here is kind of rough, but that could easily be polished up in one way or another. Now what I want to talk about real quick is the risers here. This edge and this edge, there's a tiny chance, it's a possibility, not a probability, but still a possibility, that this had turned into a very low carbon steel, and that is because it had been cast directly up against the wood, which would have turned into, you know, charcoal essentially, leaching out carbons into, not carbons, but carbon into the molten iron, and as it cooled, it could have turned into low carbon steel. Like I said, possibility, not a probability. Maybe it's not a possibility. I don't know. I'm not an expert. And that's alright. As long as we all know a little bit of what we're talking about and we're not just talking out of our butts. Some iron droplets. This will all be remelted. This piece I want to talk about. I got this slag out. All of the slag out, actually. And it's very light. I'm thinking the iron leached out, but there's big chunks here that do look like they are the pieces of iron, but they're still very light, but it's worth a shot. No harm in tossing that in for the next melt. And let me explain now why that did not work out. So as you can see here, when we poured down the second spout, the second little chute, the riser, it's officially called, I'm fairly sure, it's sputtering here. Check this out. You see that sputtering? That's the air trying to escape out. Now, the reason it didn't completely go down in the first riser and only went halfway through is because when it went down, that sand packed on top was just too densely packed. The air couldn't escape. And that first riser, the foam was still blocking it, so the air couldn't go back up. And once I started pouring the iron down the second riser, the air bubble in there wanted to push out, and it was causing that sputtering. Now, I saw that sputtering as moisture from the sand evaporating, and it wasn't until afterwards, when I had taken it apart, that I had realized what happened. If I had removed that riser, or even both of them, just preferably one, the one that I was not pouring it down and used as an air vent, the liquid would have gone in, displaced the air down there, and came out the second riser as an air vent. My shirt's pretty wrinkly, but that's fine. Yeah, so it would have worked out a lot better that way. It would have worked perfectly fine because, as you can see, we've got this big little chunk. It's not that big, but it's enough to have filled that gap if we had just removed that. So we can retry that in just a moment. So yes, that was what would, that is what happened. That, I don't know the wording. I'm not in it all the way today. So yeah, I guess we'll do that in part 4, the final recast, the final bit, because I'm going to try and get this posted by Friday. This is Saturday right now. I'm gonna try and get that posted by Friday, and the reason is that Crucible, I'll put the clip here. Crucible's broken. Yeah, it's broken, and I don't want to use my bigger one for the iron. So I'm getting tight on cash with these videos. These videos aren't insanely cheap in budget, so I would really appreciate it. I'm going to try and find some sort of system so that you guys could maybe send money as donations, or maybe a wish list so that you guys can directly purchase the things that I need, because I'm not getting a cent from these videos. And even though I've got over 110,000 followers on TikTok, I'm still not making a single dime from that because of my age, which just doesn't seem fair to me. So that's the case for that. Yeah, I'm gonna make a part 4 for that, for the final cast, and then the finishing up for it, which would just be welding a handle to it, and after that it should be done. And I guess in that video I'll test pouring some copper in there as well, and I hope that turns out. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Check out the description for some sort of link, as well as an @ to my Instagram at Matthew Bankert, my TikTok at MattMakes, a link to part 1, part 2, and part 4. This is part 3 when part 4 comes out, and until then it will just say pending. Thank you for watching, and keep on making.